Hi, I'm Stephanie Zelnick. I'm here with you today at beautiful Twin Lakes, Colorado at 9,600 feet in front of Mount Elbert that I just climbed and played a concert on top of to talk to you about lessons from higher elevations for wind instrumentalists. I have another video in this series about what to do if you have to do a concert or a performance at a higher elevation. Check that one out. Today, I'd like to talk to you about things that I've learned in my time going from sea level up to higher elevations to play and to do my best up there, and things that I've learned that I can take back to sea level that make me a better performer and a musician. I spent a lot of time playing at higher elevations, from my gig at Central City Opera above 8,500 feet to my work at University of Wyoming at 7,200 feet and Boulder Philharmonic at over 5,000 feet. I played a concert up on top of Mount Elbert at over 14,000 feet, as well as on Mount Bierstadt at over 14,000 feet and Mount Audubon in Colorado at over 13,000 feet. I'd like to talk to you about what you can do if you never even want to go to one of these elevations and play, things that you can take right there at home from these lessons today. I'm not a medical expert, so please, if you're going to change anything when it comes to your performing or your physical activity level, please run that by a doctor first. This is definitely not meant as medical advice. So lesson number one, playing at higher elevations really shows us the importance of proper air support and conditioning, not just on our tone production, but on all aspects of our playing. One of the things that I found really interesting when playing on top of these higher mountain peaks is that definitely I struggled more to get a good breath in, but that also as my body became slightly hypoxic, that my brain and my heart were definitely not going to prioritize my hands and my embouchure. So I was really surprised at how I struggled technically and also when it came to my embouchure muscles. Now, that's definitely extreme at these higher elevations, but also counts at typical concert settings as well. If you're not getting enough air, you're not going to be making good decisions, have a great embouchure, or have the optimal technique that you want to have. So definitely you need more air up here, but you need more air where you are right now, even if you're at sea level. So at higher elevations, we've definitely established that your body will make any attempt to keep itself alive, and it's not going to prioritize your embouchure or your hands. And that's something that you can take at home as well, is you want to definitely make sure that you're oxygenating as much as possible. Something I have found that's absolutely vital to playing at these higher elevations is to relax. You can do this right now at home. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Do it one more time, a little bit lower. And right there, that's the best thing you can do. When I'm playing at really high elevations, it's easy for me to start getting tense, to start getting worried, to start making bad decisions musically, and also to get really fatigued in my muscles. I find that when I'm up here, it's really essential that I take deep, relaxed breaths. That's the same in any concert setting, whether you're up at 14,000 feet or you're at 800 feet. Make sure that you're taking low, relaxed breaths. This is something you can do not just while you have your instrument in hand, you can do this all the time. At the grocery store, driving your car. Work on relaxing and breathing to your full lung capacity. It's going to make a big difference in your life and your longevity. The second thing that I like to do when I'm going up to higher elevations is to really make sure that I'm optimizing my conditioning. This is not just for traveling to higher elevations. This is important as well for your life as a musician. So get some sort of cardiovascular strength training and stretching regime as part of your playing. So for sure, for wind players, we always want to be expanding our intercostal muscles, the muscles that connect between your ribs, to make sure that we can get these good low breaths. You can do something as basic as shoulder rolls, do some basic yoga, neck rolls, everything you can just to make sure that your body and your spinal column is expanding and you're able to oxygenate as well as you can. Again, this is something that you can just work on all the time. Strength training, again, work with a professional on this to find what's right for your body and what accommodates your physical needs. And definitely cardiovascular, is something that all musicians can benefit from, a great cardiovascular routine, be it running, walking, soccer, anything that you find enjoyable is going to help you actually strengthen those breathing muscles and your whole cardiovascular system before you go into any concert setting. Vital for higher elevations, but if it's vital for higher elevations, it's vital for your life and your performing as well. So get out there and find a conditioning routine that's going to work for you. Adversity. That's the third thing that I take from higher elevation for playing in regular concert settings. It's important as a musician to train for more than what you need to do. So if you need to play an audition once, make sure that you can play that audition twice. If you have a recital, why not just play it twice in a day as part of your conditioning? When I come out and I have to go from 800 feet in Kansas and suddenly go up to a really high elevation, be it 9 or 10,000 feet to play a concert, I make sure that I get out there and I do some walking around at 11,000 feet. If I have to play a long phrase, I'll play it longer than I have to do it, knowing that when I get into a concert setting, I'm going to be a little bit stressed and I might not even be on my A game. So you want to make sure that you're always planning for something harder than what you need to do. You don't have to go up a big mountain like this, but doing something that's harder than what you have to do on that important day is going to make sure that you're really consistent on that audition or performance. Climbing mountains also builds resilience and fortitude. This is something that you already all know as musicians, but finding that strength to have failures, to do something hard, this is something I don't even need to talk to you about because we all need to do this as musicians. We're all doing this already. Whether you're 11 and you're just starting the clarinet or you're at the end of your career, we all know what it's like to do something difficult. I find that by doing something more difficult in my personal life as well, it builds my mental and physical resilience and makes me stronger as a musician. The fifth thing that I like to talk about is mountains keeping everything in perspective. It's so easy as we go through our music careers to think that this is the most important thing in the world. We live in a world of musicians, our friends are usually musicians, and we forget to keep it all in perspective that yes, music's important, but it's not the only thing in the world, and we're doing this because we love it. So getting out into nature, the mountains, doing something beautiful reminds us of why we're doing this and that it's important, yes, but in the great scheme of things, don't put too much pressure on yourself and remember to keep the joy of what you're doing. The last thing that we can learn from time up at high altitude that's going to help just any performance setting, even if you don't want to go up to elevation, is remember, just like mountains, life and our life as musicians is filled with peaks and valleys. So sometimes you might even be at a plateau and you're playing, but remember that's going to change. There's always going to be a mountain. There's always going to be a peak. You'll have lows, you'll have valleys. And remember to keep it all in perspective. Remember to keep it all in perspective. That's the most important thing that I can tell you. And being in a place like this makes it really easy. So this is an important lesson that you can learn as you go through your musical life, is that what we're doing is very important, but the world around us and you're even more important.